All right, so here's four more specific questions to you as the young entrepreneur here. So, of all of your businesses, because now how long has it been since you bought the first company?
I bought the first one in 2018.
All right.
So eight years, I guess, maybe, give or take.
So, looking at the first acquisition until now, what was the best day of that? Can you pinpoint one day that you would say was the best day of all of that? Any particular memories or thoughts when something finally worked, when this happened or that happened?
I have a lot of bad days
Well, that's
that
going to be the next
stand
question.
out.
Yeah.
So I would say the best, I don't know, it wasn't a day, but when I realized that like the company was what I thought it was going to be, although it was very hard to operate, and the money, like at like probably like the end of that first year when I like counted up all the money and I was like, whoa, this is very cool. Like this is what I wanted. I feel like I earned every penny of it because it was so hard.
Sure.
But when I realized like, wow, this is going to be, and then from there, as we continue to grow it, continue to get margin expansion, continue to get operational efficiencies, it's extremely cool to like have an idea of something, put it into reality, and then watch it work.
Yeah.
And work doesn't mean like it works flawlessly. It's sort of like baseball. Like if you're a 400 hitter, you're the best ever. It's like if this thing works 75% of the time, you're like phenomenally doing well. So we've had a lot of bumps along the way, but nothing that's even come close to taking us out or anything. And
Sure.
and so the satisfaction of that first year closing the books and saying, okay, this is pretty cool, and then from there, kind of taking it building on that.
Sure. No, I can appreciate that. I mean, I think anybody who starts a business or buys a business in whatever form it takes, there's definitely an initial period of time where you're saying like, all right, if this doesn't work, I can always, I'm still young, I can go get a job. You always think of like the backup, but it's like the day
Yeah,
that you confirm in your own mind, this works and this is going to work, and I
yeah,
never have to do that again.
right,
That's a nice feeling.
right,
Uh,
right.
yeah. All right. Now, flip side, which I agree with you. There's the way our our brains work. What would be the worst day of since the start of it? Because I imagine there's more candidates for that one.
So, I was running the company at first, the pavement sealing company in 2018, 2019, 20, and 21. I ran it before I brought in somebody. And so there are so many things, but for me, what really gets me upset because I don't know anything about equipment is like when equipment breaks down. And because I don't know how to fix it, I don't know how to do anything. So we had a day where we operate these pumps. They're hydraulic pumps that pump the sealer out, and they have a piston that goes up and down. And there's a valve on top and on the bottom. And so we had to change out one of the valves in the middle of the day. And so I get a call from one of my employees. The valve snapped. The sealer is locked in. It can't come out because the handle of the valve broke in the off position. So now we have to unscrew it and put a new valve in. So I go get the valve and we get there, and I'm on someone's driveway in the middle of the day, and there's a lot of pressure in this pump. And so we turn the pump off, and we thought we depressurized it. So I'm on the top of our tanker truck, probably 10 feet in the air, and one of my employees is on the bottom. He's got a wrench and he's trying to take this valve off, and I'm on top pulling this pipe to help him kind of loosen it
Yeah,
up.
sure.
And as soon as that thing breaks free, uh, the pressure was not turned off. So my head, as I'm pulling, is directly over this pipe,
Oh,
and I get completely like an oil, like we struck oil. It's black, and so the sealer. So I just get boom right in my whole face, and I just got lucky that I blinked. I just blinked at the time because I didn't get it in my eyes or anything or in my mouth, and I opened my eyes and I'm completely covered in this sealer. The sealer will burn into your skin if the sun hits it. That's how it adheres to the pavement. So I'm out there in the middle, and so all our guys wear like long sleeves and everything, and long pants because they don't want to get this stuff on them.
yeah, sure.
So I'm up there, short sleeves, shorts, and I got it all over my face, and it's starting to like get hot, and the sun's out in the middle of the summer, and so that was probably the worst day. And this stuff sticks to you. So it took me about 2 weeks to get all this out of my ears
Oh,
and everything. I went home and took a shower immediately, but still, like half
yeah.
my face was still covered, and I'm just scrubbing and scrubbing. And so that was one. But I could sit here for 2 hours and tell you stories just like that and not run out.
Yeah. Well, look, no, that's I appreciate that story, and we've got plenty on our side too. You, those are the little gristle points of the story, of the narrative, of the growth of a business that, or business objectives that no people overlook, right? Like it's easy to have like the LinkedIn story of everything's just linear upward, everything worked out perfect, like, hey, look at us, this is great, But there's these stories where you're just, but in the trenches where you're just trying to like say, all right, we just got to get through today. We just got to
Yeah,
get this one problem solved to get to tomorrow. So I
yeah.
can appreciate that. All right. Over the last 10 years, any regrets?
No, no, definitely not. It's been very, very taxing, stressful, I would say, stressful and taxing, but ultimately for my personality, I could not exist sort of in any other way. I would not, there's sort of this cottage industry of like young people that are wanting to buy companies now.
Yes.
I've had individual conversations with maybe 30 or 40 of these type of people. I would say less than three have actually transacted, and maybe less than five. But I would highly encourage a lot of people not to go down this path. It is you have to have a certain type of personality to put up with the stuff you're gonna have to put up with. And I think we're in America and everybody wants entrepreneurship. It's a whole genre of books and stuff like that. But um, stick to the books. I would recommend a lot of people just do that. For those people who know that this is for them, it's the coolest thing ever. I mean, it's the absolute coolest thing ever. But I would say for people who it's not for, if you try and do it, it's probably going to be the worst experience of your life. I mean, it's for me. And that first company that I bought, that first year or two, it was like the worst experience. I had no idea what I was doing. And I really thought like, I'm going bankrupt and
Yeah.
I'll just have to start over. And it's not because the money wasn't coming in. The money was always coming in from day one. I'm just like, I'm going bankrupt because I'm just going to die. Like, I'm going to be so exhausted. I'm not going to wake up one morning and that'll be the end of it. So, uh,
I
uh,
that's funny you say that. No, I know what you mean. It's chewing glass. And
yeah.
there's man, I can remember, we've been in business now 8 years, so similar time frame, but there's, it's Christmas Eve and you're counting numbers and figuring out how everyone's getting paid, or it's Thanksgiving morning and you're on the phone, outside, or it's Easter and you're, hiding behind a church making phone calls to make sure someone does something that they're
Or
supposed
on your
to.
honeymoon.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, right, right. Yeah, precisely. I
yeah.
remember, you told that story about the oil, the sealant. I remember one of our earlier engagements was there was this company that owned a bunch of distressed shopping malls, and so we were helping them sell an operating shopping mall that was fairly distressed, and it was around Christmas time, and all vendors weren't getting paid, and it was just a disaster. And so the snowplow guys quit. Uh, without telling anyone, they just stopped doing it.
It's just
And
walked off.
there was a Santa Claus that was supposed to be at the Macy's, but he couldn't get in the back door. And so Santa's in the parking lot with a few angry elves, and they're just saying they're going to leave. Macy's,
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's going berserk. So I'm
Yeah.
standing there at 6:30 in the morning on like December 23rd, just shoveling a definitely not OSHA compliant like trench
Yeah.
through like 6 feet of snow to get to this thing. And I just, and part of you is just saying like, you know what? If all of this snow collapses on me and crushes me now, I said, this is going to
Yeah.
be one hell of an ending. Like everyone's going to say, like, I thought that Arthur guy was onto something, and now here he is
He
getting,
died in an avalanche at a
yeah,
shopping mall.
yeah, Southern Massachusetts. But
Exactly.
nonetheless, I know the feeling. All right, I guess on the more an optimistic perspective, looking forward to the next 10 years, what's that look like? Obviously, there's elements of it that are unpredictable, but if the best worst guess, if you say, hey, this is what we're charting after and this is what we're marching after, what are you thinking for the next decade?
One of the things that I found that I really enjoy was training the two managers that I've got. Um, Watching them go through the process of what you and I just discussed about encountering extremely stressful situations and being accountable for solving them. Um, Having already gone through that myself, it's like I can like see. what I like, oh yeah, I remember feeling as stressed as you were, but I know they're going to get it done. I know they're going to go
Yeah,
through it. And I can see, especially with the first guy, because it's been a few years now, just how he was at first and how he is now and and just how he's handling situations. He won't even tell me about situations. He'll call me after the fact. Oh, this is what happened. And then he'll tell me what he did. And I'm just like, this is great. I mean, this is exactly what you should be doing. And we laugh about it, and
sure,
it's like, what? That's funny. It's like makes the day entertaining to have these things happen. And so seeing the progression of those people in those positions that I've also occupied is really cool. So over the next 10 years, I mean, I could see myself doing more transactions. I'd want to do it though bigger.
sure,
I'm at the point now where it doesn't excite me to do another small one necessarily. But I'd want to do something bigger. And I don't know if that means raising some equity to get there or whatever. I mean, that comes with a whole host of problems, potentially, but something along that lines. I'm opportunistic. I'm going to wait for the opportunity to find me. I'm not going to
sure.
force anything. So right now, I'm just enjoying the situation that I'm in, training this other guy, and starting that's really bearing fruit now. And the other company is running great. So
That's
when you
awesome.
when you get it right, it is like magic. It is like that dream that everyone writes about and stuff like that. So I'm also very aware that I'm in a lucky situation. Tomorrow it could all turn, so I'm grateful for today that it's
Yes,
working out. I anticipate it will continue to work out, but who knows? And so if I have to dive back in, that's what I have to do.
sure.
And so I'll just roll with it and keep bobbing and weaving.
You know what? I will say, uh, owning a business and running businesses, it does make you certainly grateful for the peace. There was always I don't know if it was Thomas Jefferson, someone said like, peace is the time when you're reloading your gun, but
Yeah.
it's it makes you grateful for when everything is working because you're like, all right, like I'm not going to look
Yeah.
for problems. Let's just enjoy the day.
Right. Right.
Very good. Awesome. Well, look, I'm excited personally to hopefully have some more deals to be done together in the future, but at the very least, we deal with people all day and all night, just like you do, and we can see when someone's on a path and going to do, special things. So I'm excited to, work together along that path. It's kind of both at similar kind of tours of duty in this world. So excited to see where you take it, and people can look back at this video at some point. And I think one thing people do is they see the final product and they don't see all of the pain and doubt and uncertainty that kind of goes along the way. So it's neat to kind of document the thought of you in mid-30s mode. And when someone can look back 20 years from now and be like, here was the hopes, fears, and et cetera that went along with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So appreciate the time, Daniel. Thank you. And we'll do this again in a few years and see if we're both as cynical and
Yeah.
not
Right.
joking,
Yeah.
optimistic of the universe.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Arthur.
Thanks.